Ouspensky, he gave a model of the universe, how
He was a
energy
student,
travels,
yeah,
more physics.
he was a student of Gurdjieff,
Yeah, so he was in
Gurdjieff,
the
who you talked about before, and Meher Baba. Just like some, just AI reading, to be honest. Yeah, some brief AI reading. Um, but yeah, I saw a lot of parallels between those. Yeah, the different topics, and yeah, how they talk about consciousness evolving and descending, and time being cyclical.
Hmm.
Yeah, even Samkhya philosophy, the 24 tattvas, and I think Theosophical Society talk about seven planes.
This is model of the universe, what you are
Yeah.
talking about. That is
Yeah.
next.
Oh.
This is today's equation between mind and brain.
Okay, true. I was reading about model.
No, that
Oh,
is
okay.
the next one, no? Next
Okay,
Saturday
okay.
one. And this is the title today is, I think I put mind and brain, no?
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Because each time I do episode, like last time I did, and within 24 hours is processing, no?
Right.
What next? So the
Okay.
moment it process, if I don't write immediately, I may
Yeah.
lose it.
Okay.
So if I have laptop, then I immediately make it titles and things, so the theme remains in my mind to think to in this direction for the next class. So that is
Okay.
next one. No, please, no, remove
True.
it.
I
My mind
can
started to change. What? I was
Yeah.
thinking, I 10 minutes before I was thinking about the brain and mind, the equations, no?
Okay.
To find the correlation. And the main point I was just meditating, and the main point which come to talk about is when we say equation means a harmony, a communication between two. No? Like we find equation between physical and emotional body. That means a communication between, there is a communication between the two, and we are finding a harmony between the two. How they are becoming harmonious or disharmonious means communication or miscommunication between the two. That we call equation. No? That explains between the two event. It's explaining between. So we can explain. Oh, your knees are weak and crooked because of fear of death. You are trembling. You can't stand. So this way we find a correlation, an equation. We call it an equation. An equation between the two. Brain and mind is a completely two dimensions, they are existing. So I was thinking how to explain, and I was getting full proper explanation before I came. Let's see if I can remember again the pattern which was evolving. It seemed like if we ask Advaita Vedanta that give me an equation between medical science and Advaita Vedanta philosophy, how they can correlate, like it's a brain. Brain is a very physical phenomenon, and mind is a psychic phenomenon. It's existing in a different dimensions, like a software and hardware. In this way, in cybernetic model, software and hardware, this way we brain and mind, we differentiate physical and non-physical. One non-physical software existing, but in a different way and correlating to the hardware. Same way we can say mind and brain. You say like mind of a matter. Mind of a matter. So like a matter is a unit, we say genetic code, genome. It is the mind of the matter, so if we can map this genome, which is mappy, so we can predict a correlation that this means this kind of ear, this kind of nose, mesotype body structure. Same like if we see in the plant, we find out that, oh, this is the red color, this gene represents the color, this is the shape, this is the size. So what we are doing, we are changing the mind of this, and we are changing the brain structure. So if you are changing the brain structure, it's changing in a different and definition of who am I changing with shape and size. So what is being noticed here? In the mind of the whole plant kingdom as a one, mind is coming that I am being manipulated by the environment. About my structure, my definition, my being. So plant kingdom in mind receiving the masses, oh, I am being manipulated. One thing. Now, and in the physical, his brain is being affected. Mind is recording a vritti. We call it sanskara. So plant kingdom is started storing a sanskara that how it's relating to environment. And it's always recording. A person coming, sitting with compassion, touching, is recording the environment. Same like we are recording the environment all the time. So this plant kingdom recording an environment, maybe it says that it's living in a collective unconscious. So the ego of I can be said I of the whole plant kingdom. I, no? It could be I as a mango tree, maybe I this, but we say collectively one kingdom where human is relating, and this kingdom is recording a message that I am being manipulated by the environment. Now, nature may be happy about it, maybe non-happy about it. Means it could be harmonic, it could be disharmonic. Then there is a structure of thinking in plant kingdom. If it in the nature, law of nature, is governed by law of nature. So if it is in any way, first it will try to make an harmony. And it will try to bring changes within. If in any case it will not succeeding to create a harmony, that means disharmony in a very deep level. Kingdom, a plant kingdom is disharmonic with living cells kingdom. The two, but it is very deep, and in that disharmony, catastrophe may happen. Either plant kingdom disappears, or human kingdom disappears, or both disappear. So you see, a mind is being built and brain is being changed. It's analogical. So we can say the mind of the body, the mind of the cells may be in our genome. And then it's reflecting in the body, in the brain. So mind and body, mind and brain can correlate. It means if we make change, any structural law changes in our thinking, it will affect the structure, physical structure of theoretically, analogically. If we see how plant kingdom creating its own mind and body both. So a structural thinking change, the law can affect the body. And our DNA and RNA may change. If we can change our structural thinking on a very basic, and a genesis, in the coding, from where the thought is originating, and making a category of thought, a category of search, a category of knowledge, then we can change the brain structure. I am thinking pragmatically that if this theory can be applied in medical science. So to me, an equation is a harmonic algorithm, a pattern, a music, a cacophony, or melodious. in this way, we can change the mind to change the brain, and to change the brain to change the mind. In a deeper structure. How it's correlating to psychological ego and psychological body, it's a different matter. Like if you can take some parts of the brain out, then memory out, you can affect, like where I is limited to the memory only. And recording only individual history. Not being affected by collective history, where emotions begins. You start to correlate with the individual versus society. So brain is a physical, mind can be affected by many phenomena. And when it comes to affect or communicate with the brain, where changes are two ways, like if you change one, it changes another, like pranayama and mental body. If you change the pranayama, mental body and physical body starts to respond. So this pranayama is the equation of peace. This pattern is the equation of peace. If you simulate this breathing pattern, you will attain peace and health in the body. We say this is the equation correlating. So that's way, if we can find an equation, is it possible to find an equation between mind and brain, where if patterns are being manipulated, equations being expanded or combined together, show the algorithm, then it will affect both the ends. Brain and mind, both. Or anyone we change, like this equation, we change the equation, it starts to affect both sides. If you change one side, then it filters through the equation and affects another one. So, is it possible now with the science to find this equation? How it's possible? The deep structural thinking is being recorded as deep religious beliefs, structural way, or any belief which is mind taking it as absolutely real. Any belief, this mind is thinking absolutely real. So if we find 4 people who are believing in 4 different things absolutely real, but their belief point is different. So if we analyze the pattern, physical pattern of these codes, we might find a correlation. And next will be, if we change this belief, is the pattern changing or any changes happening? That's only way we can affect the genetic codes, equating mind and brain, in which will come 2 other energy, in which will come energy process, like intensification of energy that will correlate with the effects in time, that will correlate to time. If intensified energy, less the time. Diversified energy, more the time. The time factor will, the effects measuring, the time factor will correlate with intensity of energy. Here Shakti will become time. Correlate to time. And equation is a fact. It should be a fact. Exactly, it's fact. But if in tomato, we are changing the color of the tomato from red to yellow, and it will produce yellow as a fact. So we know the fact that this gene is responsible for the color and what we are doing, how it will change. So we can predict the future, and our inference is right. So bringing alternative medicines into medical science, which is a great project Pavel is thinking of in the future. And that's the fundamental way of thinking. To find the equation, you should proceed in the right direction to find it. And it can only be found in this analogical way of thinking. And better to take analogy of the plant kingdom. Mind of the plant and the brain of the plant. And analogically, we can apply. Yes, Pavel?
Um, the plant kingdom is totally connected with human kingdom. And because it produces the oxygen, and without oxygen, human cannot breathe.
Yeah, the harmony is very easy to find.
Yes.
The equation between human and like living cells and the plant kingdom. Yeah.
Yes. So, and mineral kingdom also, minerals is the part of our body. The most important minerals is the ferrum, the iron, which accept oxygen and transfer oxygen to the cell. So without ferrum, without iron, we cannot live even second. And there are some other minerals like selenium, like magnesium, and a lot of minerals in our body. And even in genes, in genetic code, the problem that scientists spend billions of dollars to to find out the genetic code symbols, but they don't understand that this genetic code is 3D model, so it cannot be read only step by step in line. It is also 3D conversion, 3D model of reading. So and they still think that 90% of this genetic code is doing nothing. They don't understand what this genes is doing. If we speak about now is how to make Amrit bija, how to make some kind of substance in our body to live longer, so we come with the idea that we need to mentally create this elixir, and then if we create it mentally, then it will be physically produced in our body. So this is the most ancient religious like Zoroastrianism said, yes, the positive thoughts, positive speak, and positive action. So this is the formula of the harmonic living. But actually, with Advaita Vedanta, we understand that there is no difference between positive and negative. Actually, there's two different parts, but it's connected. So it's not white and black. It's a lot of gray between different kind of gray between this. So it's all connected. Positive, negative, angels and devils, and
We say that life is happening in gray area.
yes.
In negative, there is no movement. In positive, also there is no movement. It's a climax.
Yes, and
So life is in the
life
gray.
is
Life is in the gray.
yeah, life is spanda. It's
Yeah, they say
it's
enjoy the
moving.
pilgrimage, not destination, because in destination there is nothing. All the joy is in the journey, in this rajas, which is transforming the process. Yes, Pavel,
And
I'm listening
yeah.
to you. And the question arising here that the way we are sure of predictions in plant kingdom, we are not so sure in the human.
Okay, we can be sure in some parts, but we cannot be sure in other parts. It's
Yes.
So how we can apply this
Let's see. Let me change the
understanding?
pattern of thinking. Let me think in an alternative medicinal way.
Mm-hmm.
If I am a therapist or if I have to handle this situation, what I can do about it, how I will think about it. So the question is arising that there is a equation between mind and brain. We are not looking for a black cat in the dark room. With closed eyes, under a safe. That way. No, we are not going that way. So if to find the equation between mind and brain, we come to the point that we are actually trying to find out if any structural variation, as if the joints are different or some different capability like in the body. In same way, we are looking for the brain, can we manipulate and change? So, and we have like mind, body, and in alternative therapy, we will think always about an energy flow between the two. So here question arising in alternative way of thinking that energy, higher energy, you channel faster and more healing it is. So energy we can channel from our convictions, talking, influence the mind in some way, some conviction, some ideas, some belief, but the effect of it is skin deep, not so deep that it can go to the genetic structure. At the most, for a while, we can look calm, the facial structure, an expression by talking, or there is a limit to that. Then we can go on deep thinking and meditation and thinking about it. We are influencing the energy, and we say higher here means subtler the energy is higher, effective in time and space. So that way we go to Pashyanti and we can go to the consciousness. That's beyond, we don't know. So we can learn to channel energy from subtler to subtler dimension. And then we can bring fast influence so that we don't have to wait for 20 years to measure the change of belief system. We want to intensify the time to grow fast and to bring out result faster. Means we can measure after 1 month or after 1 hour or something. As faster we can measure, better we will reach. That's the way we work. We don't want to delay it for infinity that I find the equation when I die. We want to find it fast. As faster we find, better we grow. So we, in alternative medicinal way, we have techniques of meditation or mantras or chanting or breathing exercises, which we can train to channel the energy from the very deep source. If we channel the energy from the very deep source, then there will come a structural change in the way of thinking of the person. Person before was believing that this is truth and there is nothing other is truth. So core belief points, and then person is going through an experience and he is dropping that belief and creating a new belief. What it can bring a change in body, in brain, in DNA, in RNA. So if you have an exact blueprint of two difference, we can only notice the difference. And through the difference, we say, oh, this belief system is structure changing a little pattern here. There is some core changes is appearing in DNA and RNA. So this way we can develop a equation between mind and brain. Yes.
Would an example of this be, because I was doing some reading about different like spiritual practices and meditation techniques and how it can have a quantifiable effect on like brain structure. Like they're talking about like the default mode network, which are like parts of the brain that are usually engaged when people are experiencing things and want to refer to themselves. So they're integrating the outside experience and putting themselves into it. And they're showing how certain techniques like Vipassana, like Goenka styles Vipassana, they're very effective at reducing the intensity of that part of brain. And then certain techniques like, say, mantra chanting or like prayer through like personal worship, they have an effect on a certain other part of the brain, like a different region of the brain. And they're just comparing different meditation techniques like that. I'm not sure if they've gone to the point of like reaching like a common ground between everything, but is this what I'm describing kind of similar to what you're talking about like producing like an equation between like the mind and the brain or something?
Affecting one is affecting the other.
Yeah.
We call it the equation. One affecting, and it's a brain mapping which we are mapping the functions of the brain. If some functions appearing with this emotion. So we are correlating an emotional experience and electric charge in the brain. In a way, we are seeing this energy and its effect over the brain. So we are mapping the brain with energy system. And we are going a little bit further, energy and emotions. Yes, it is a part of mind. The mind is recording and changing deep structural thinking in a seed form. That is the elaborated form scientists are researching already. Our topic is in a seed form. So that means we can go by induction method. Suppose we have a genetic mode patterns of all meditators who are meditating. And people who have never thought of meditation, never tried. Is there any common noticeable pattern arising, like induction method? We can also find that way, and also in an analytical way before we are talking about. So our point is that in seed form, can mind affect the genetic function? Then there is a point of liberation and choice in making the body. Or can any changes in the brain and change the mind or antenna? Like we are channeling the energy source and the quality of thinking and the quality of knowledge. So when we are channeling a certain area, I find that it's more electrified. Like when I'm going in meditation, deep questions which answer I don't know, which is beyond my experience. I don't know the answer. If I start to meditate, suppose just like I started to think right now, talking to you, that's to the point. And in my mind, I know that what I don't know. I am knowing that what I am not knowing. So my mind is continuously going, look, it started scratching. So in the brain, this effort of going towards not knowing, which is also annoying some way to me, some way making inquisitive. So this whole effort process is affecting a certain area in the brain, a process of mental agitation. It has a history. It is backed up by many memories. It has fancy idea about this search, what it could be. I have many logics. I'm not sure about anything, because this question is the nature of beyond. If I'm trying, it's activating certain different patterns and energy and things. And sometimes when I get an answer, then it's always some part is resonating, electrified more. So there is a correlation in a function of the mind and a pattern, functional, energetic pattern in the brain. Are they changing each other? Are they permanently changing something? If a person becoming enlightened, is there anything permanently changing in genetic codes? There are many. This is the way we can find the equation. Pragmatically. And on basis of theory, we can only improvise techniques and measure it with our traits and behaviors somehow. That fundamental change has happened. Like this person cannot be made angry at all ever, howsoever we try. This man cannot be induced to sex and cannot be, howsoever we try. Something permanent change can only be correlated with any codes, changes, pattern in genetic codes, in a seed form. In a tree form, we are mapping the neurons travel, how they are traveling, branches, leaves into the brain, and emotions. So which emotions affecting which trees, which branch, which petals, like this way we are exploring it. But what constituting the seed? The seed of the mind and the brain and the mind, can it be correlated? And can it be changed with an experience? Do the enlightened people have some different genetic codes or some permanent change? Our genetic codes are changing if we come to 100% pure experience, which none of our cells can ever doubt in any situation. That's going very deep. An undoubting experience which cannot be doubted. It's a different phenomenon. It will sink. And that which can be doubted, entertained, and you are logic, doing logic, so it's a different phenomenon. It's a pattern. This pattern can be induced to a one dot point. Like a tree, the kind of a tree, the texture and things can be predicted to a one dot point in the seed form. This is the question: can we create Manas Putra? We call like one rishis. They infuse their knowledge and create mental child. Cloning, different way. or can be produced. Science is producing cloning, exact copy. So this was my pattern of thinking, to see into this direction, think about it, and bringing pragmatic approach, finding an equation. Is it possible? Not possible? How much we have succeeded? And what we think about it that will affect our community. Their thinking, their motivation. Can we motivate people that yes, we can even change your genetic codes? Or you can change it and you can wish it, design it, or think it. And unfortunately or fortunately, we don't have prints of enlightened people in the histories. So we can come to the induction method, but we only have behaviors and mental expressions of their qualities. Like coding means a paradigm shift. No? A monkey is not a monkey. But just because, not that a lot of difference there, could be a very little difference in coding in seed form. In genomic code, it could be very little, 1 or 2% difference, but outside it exhibiting a lot of difference. So we need to find a dot point for a pattern, the heart of the pattern. A pattern is a dispersed area, an event, and there could be, it cannot exist without a center. A center is the heart, and the code is the heart, which is expanding. So if we can find a equation, a correlation, a harmony, one changed, another affected. One affected, another changed. Like mind and body, like you are angry, muscles tense. Muscles relax, anger subsiding. Correlation in psychosomatic. So here is psychosomatic a little bit deep in seed form. Yes, Pavel?
Yes. In Russia, we have a big scientific tradition and the special institute about the structure brain. So for 100 of years, they took out the brain of different people, genius, musicians, some big politicians, and they cut the brain in 6,000 very teeny pieces and make research how the structure of the brain is changing. They try to find the cores of genius cores, and then they find out that all the people are different, and the difference between two people can be up to 40 times. For example, one person have got one core of neurons about the seeing the colors, and another person can see the colors 40 times better, only because it's his structure of these neurons is 40 times bigger. So all the people are different, and so it's almost impossible to find out the universal law of discussing and explaining something. So different people understands things differently. The second thing is that the brain is there is it's can take when we think creatively, it can take 25% of all body energy just to walk in creative way. And in relaxed mode, it takes only 8% of the energy. And there is a system of endogenic cannabis and opioids, endogenic drugs that brain produce not to think a lot, because thinking a lot, it destroys the energy harmony in the
Draining the
body.
energy, yeah, draining the energy.
Yes.
So not
So
to think,
the
be stoned there and
yes,
stop thinking. Yeah.
yes, this cannabis brain produced just to reduce the level of thinking, and this is why the social media is very popular, because people not thinking, they are just accepting, and there is no zero thinking in this kind of process. So, and the brain produce a lot of endogenic drugs just to continue to do this. And one of the tests, it's very important, interesting. One of the tests which shows the brain structure and ability to creative is they ask person to write manually a page of on some topic, just to write your own thoughts, not to copy paste from AI, or just to think and write, describe some. It's like small essay, and from this essay they can easily recognize people with thinking abilities, and because uh, to write the essay thing, it's you have to hardly work 32 different cores of the brain. It should all be harmoniously working, only just to write this small essay. So and this also the painting of this Chinese hieroglyphs or symbols. It's also the creative work, and very meditative, and so doing new things. It's very also very important to produce, to activate different things, and structurally, each neuron has the 5 blood vessels coming. In normal situation, only 1 vessel is open and 4 is closed. So, but in the situation of heavy brain work, even all 5 vessels can be open, and a lot of energy, oxygen will flow to this area. And the scientists still don't understand uh, how it's working, because yes, there is electric signals, but when one neuron connects to another neuron, it's the chemical connection. So electric turns to chemical. It's 20 different chemicals, and some of the chemicals which will go to the other neuron, and this chemical produce another electronic signal. So so it's totally different from computer systems, and all the way how they try to copy human brain with computers, it's physically impossible.
That's why I
But
say, in the modern computing system, this is the fundamental mistake of the way they are thinking to develop computer. They are thinking that we will develop a computer which can multiply faster and more, which can calculate more and more data faster and faster. So that means we need more and more energy, or more intense energy. So that's where they are saying, oh, we need infinite energy to process it. But there is no intelligence there. This is a stupid way of thinking, no, exhausting yourself. Then we must think in a Shakti Prakriya. First, you need to energy process. So our body, if you learn from the neuron, it has an inbuilt intelligence whether to transfer this information further or not. Either we are harping about in quantum computers, in one button, our computer can go and search in 1 million directions to the 1 million ways. It has no intelligence where to stop until the energy is exhausted. Until the supply of energy is exhausted, it cannot stop. But our body has an intelligence, that's a body wisdom. Each neuron knows where to stop. Where to stop. So if we are giving any algorithm to quantum computing in multiple dimensions, in 3D ways, decoding genomes that has a intricate connections, and one neurons can connect to all the neurons. In this way, if we supply energy and give a task, we first give an intelligence where to stop, where not to look, whether not to spend energy. Not in a quantum computing way of thinking, oh, it will go to all million directions in all infinite dimension and keep on working infinitely analyzing to find that. And it will find it faster. It's not the way of thinking. You are just misusing like resources. Energy is resources. That way you think you become monger, energy monger. I need all the energy. I should bring the sun to my planet. No? A stupid way of thinking, I should bring the sun in my planet so that I will have infinite energy and my quantum computing will be running infinite. But I will never go in my intelligence and learn from a simple act of the body, a neuron behavior. The one cellular jiva, even anything live, will function with this intelligence, where to move, where not to move. In which direction to put energy, in which direction to not. If you want to give any computing, algorithm computing, we must create this equation and give this intelligence, which our neurons have. But no, we are just finding neural networks. Keep on pushing energy and let them connect each other. We will create a brain, very complex brain. And always hungry for energy. Always hungry for energy, killing anybody for energy. What's happening? See the thinking. Who is giving this thought? Who is making energy mongers? Who is demanding so much energy? There's a way of thinking that everybody needs infinite energy, each country. And fighting for what? Energy source. The science has to shift that way of thinking. Otherwise, we will kill each other. No? Energy, energy, energy. Even in Greenland, Finland, anywhere in the anywhere energy, fight. Let's kill each other. And what is the rule? Whosoever is might is right. Buffalo rule. No, buffalo rule. Let's see intelligently and think in a proper way. Not that looking for energy. No? Otherwise, money, energy is money. How much money you need? No idea. As much. Same way, energy. So we, rather than thinking in quantity and going into the same stupid way, think properly. Learn from the body's simple intelligence of a neuron that has intelligence on a synaptic nerve whether to pass on this message forward or not. First programming of any quantum computing, which is multidimensional, it should be this intelligence. Then we will not fight for energy.
The difference between doing mode and being mode. So
Being mode is supporting power, no, to the doing mode. So the layers of programming in quantum computing is 3 layers. The computing has to pass through from Bakari to Madhyama to Pashyanti and then Para. That's where we want answers. Then programming has to go in 3 layers. Where to stop? Which act will stop where is the first intelligence we need to give. Otherwise, we will be exhausted and always fighting for energy and kill each other. Finally, one person will say, all energy I need. I am the savior of this planet. So I have the right to take command of all the energy.
And then in our discussion, it came the wisdom of our body, the immortality is the goal, but immortal cell create cancer and kill all the body.
Yeah.
So and it's a problem of the modern medicine and a lot of by hacking. They try to test different things to improve the longevity, but in many cases it will have a side effect that it will create immortal cells which will create the cancer and they will die from the cancer. So
no, it will just supersede all other programs. If you will create something like this, it will consider all mortals as a virus. Or all mortal cells will take these cells as a virus. There will be a fight. And when it will be immortal, then it will win, and then it will replace all mortal cells. Well, nice way of thinking, but very enlightening, the way of thinking into this phenomena. And I am concerned because in your pulse of wisdom, this is a belief system. And this knowledge will be helpful for us, and it will be an area of explorations which we will be able to say something if we will find something practically there. Rather, right now it's just a theory and the way of thinking, but I'm sure we will find a correlation and an equation if we have practical instruments. Otherwise,
one of the practical instruments is the alchemy. Alchemy is awakening the intelligence of cells, intelligence of some organs, intelligence of the mind. Awakening this, and then it brings this infinite energy, and it's charging the whole system.
With this alchemical process, like which I am doing only the programming, the Shabda therapy in a way, which I call alchemy, based on Shabda, I have been only able to change until now the ego structure. Genetic codes are there, can be influenced by consciousness only in intelligence level. if we can make some changes, structural changes in intelligence, then only we can think of any changes in genetic. But yes, hence we are changing the communication patterns of the neurons, energy process. So we are changing the behavior, communication behavior of the neurons for sure, and giving a new intelligence to the neurons now to fire and not to fire. And before in the trauma, they were firing, which is exhausting and taking energy. Now with the program that in the trauma, they will not fire. And in the positive direction of attracting resources, they will fire. That's the alchemy. So what it affects bring in genetic code, DNA or RNA. We can measure RNA, I challenge, you can measure within 6 months or any time after this alchemy is done. Like if I shutting off one neuron patterns that they will never fire and one opening to fire maximum until they are exhausted into the future. And in the past, they will not fire. What changes it will bring in our, if we can measure the difference as a fact, what is happening in material body, in DNA and RNA, we found the equation. We found the equation. So equation I am building up, but this equation is unique to every person. That is, I'm not finding any universal equation which can be applied to all the humans. Each person demanding a unique application to develop for the transformation. Like each person demanding a new patterns of RNA. Their wish, what they want. If that is done. So this is the way, yes, we can measure, but how deep, I don't know. We can analyze it. But communication channels are changing, for sure. Behavioral changes are immediate. Like also you saw Pavel, in which gene H256 transitions, which is not curable in your medical science. It's only manageable, which is causing arthritis and other joint problems in vertebral columns. And when we applied immediate within a week, no symptoms. I only changed the communication, neuron behaviors. Basically, it's a neuro-linguistic programming which is attached to now the natural language and adjusting to the what person is demanding, the neuron patterns. So that way, now if we have analysis too before and after, then we could measure if any difference arises. So there we can find a correlation between mind and brain, but I change only mind. But what's affecting is the brain. Even the nervous system is the brain in a way. Neurons is the brain. So it's affecting, it's evident that it's even affecting the behaviors which is caused by genetic. So we have the tools. The day we have practical, then we can give a formula. Right now, I'm working alone, and each person is demanding a new formula. But there is a method to decipher that formula. This method is same to all the person. Formula keeps on changing with every person. Because each person demand and needs are unique. Their future projections are unique. Their desires are unique. Everyone wants to live differently. Their value system is different. And they can be happy only into their natural adjustment. So this I have done, I'm doing already. We can measure someday. Or anyone has want to go through transformation, ready for experience, welcome. make your genome mapping and RNA, DNA. Somehow you can make your DNA and RNA some patterns or something, and go through here 6 months and then make it, and then some difference must be there.
And with
Or we
this,
find out people who have genetic issues, apply on them and measure them. So this way we can find an equation. Today or tomorrow we will find it.
Yeah, but the modern scientists, they already find out that mapping is does not make any sense, because when you put your attention to something, you're changing it, and then when you withdraw your attention, it's also changing. So this okay, but there is a so you can affect anything with your energy, with your attention, and it's totally tantra. Where you put your attention, there the energy flows, and with positive energy you
Your
can
idea
affect.
is also same. You are changing the mind and influencing the brain.
Yes. Yes.
We will proceed in the same way. Just we don't have data to talk about. Once we will have data, then we can give it a factual equation. And that's where we are moving, no? One day we will find this vibration patterns and genetic coding, and seeing their genetic coding genomes, we can find their seed mantra. That will become a science. That will not be, that will become a science. So each person genetic code is saying, this is your seed mantra. This is the vibration, your original vibration. We can also create it, simulate it through the computers, and person can listen to it. And maybe that become a therapy. Just by listening that primordial vibrations, which is a mirror image in sound with your genetic codes, and that will be a different way of learning and opening the intelligence in harmony with, full harmony with nature. And you will see how knowledge appears with experience. So the learning will not be a factual book and this analysis, no. Learning will be a symbiosis, like completely one, and understanding the law of nature in the body. That way of learning. So we will change the whole learning. Like evolution will be amazing. You can't imagine after that evolution and the humans. If we can find that. Beyond imagination, the intelligence.
Okay. Yeah.
So next is model of the universe, Hassan. Now research.
Yeah.
So go through all the models, like which I have been, like how the universe is governed. In a spiritual way, we have many, that one angel, then another angel, then another angel. In Meher Baba, God speaks. He says this guru, that much guru. And then after one loka, then another loka, and there is an administrator. Idea is that there is a witness. Any nook and corner you will stand, there is somebody territory. Somebody is governing, somebody is watching in any of the form. So this way of Sankhya is also hierarchical way of thinking, administration. Same way of thinking in administration and hierarchy. One guru, one mantra Maheshwar, mantra this way, no? One mantra giver. So this way, and P.D. Ouspensky, which is giving the new model of the universe, is more like a physics, and more like a geometry, and more like astrology. The idea is that if anything coming towards the sun, which is the center nucleus, it will first be met by the periphery. Like if I am the heart, so anything coming, it will go to the heart at the end. Before that, all our system will interfere this energy to reach there. And it will go through a process. defined process, then only it will reach the heart. Otherwise, it must be destroyed in the middle. So in that way, the farthest planet, which is revolving around the sun, is the first person to receive the knowledge from the beyond. And filtering through all the moons and all the planets, nothing reaches to sun. Is the heart. That's the law. Any movement in Hatha Yoga, if it reaches to your heart or any movement in your vertebra column, it's wrong. It's wrong. The heart has to be protected. So in any of the movement you feeling your vertebra means you are moving not in harmony with the law of movement. So your elbow should be adjusted. Your wrist should be adjusted. Your breathing should be adjusted. Your posture should be corrected. What is the law? You are exerting pressure over a certain band. It should not. This is the law of movement, that nothing reaches the heart except the heart itself from another dimension. So that way, P.D. Ouspensky on this vision, if you will study, you will understand it, how energy reaching and increasing, crossing. So physics and metaphysics. A mystic mathematician explaining. I'm trying to correct the two equations. So a parascience and fact. So he is equating physics and metaphysics in its own way. We are finding equations. That's how the model of the universe is the same. Like one universe is connected with another and governed. So explore in all the religion, Hindu, Christian, Muslims, and these other models given by gurus. So, and Sankhya, Vedanta, many model of the universe. All is almost one point I saw, all is administrative. And spiritual will say it's a conscious, and physics will say it's autonomous. Two ways I'm studying it and seeing it. Just be aware of it. Because metaphysics is also affecting the mind, and it's connected with the brain. So if any metaphysical belief changing permanently by any experience, theoretically, it must affect the fact. A particle, a dot in the brain somewhere, and the nervous system. And then not only that, the pattern of thinking, pattern of seeing, pattern of believing, and pattern of judgment. That directly correlates to your instinct level interacting with environment. And it changes the degree of fear. So you will attack, you will respond, you will run away. That's where the genetic mutation takes place. The main response, the delay, the thinking, the kind of nervous system evolves. So that is my point. Finding a correlation between macro and micro and different dimensions. That's where the whole science and medical science will move in the future. We are just pacing with them.